about Star Wars Rebellion?
I lost, so it's a terrible game for terrible people designed by idiots. But I think I do enjoy this game quite a lot. I think it's fun. I think it's so hard as the rebels, but I think it's supposed to be.
It feels like it would be hard to play as the rebels.
It's just especially because I thought I would be moving that loyalty tracker, but these I couldn't.
You didn't get any option, any opportunity.
Because all the starter ones were garbage.
Yeah, because you weren't even particularly close yet.
No, I only have 2 spaces, and I did those both in the last round.
In one turn. Yeah, and the Imperials start with a massive advantage, and I think the strategy is just try and end the game as quick as possible.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, is we barely scratched the surface of what this game is, because this was the first game. This was the easy mode version. All of the action cards that we were using to recruit new leaders have additional effects, like you add them to your hand and then get to do stuff with them, which is just wild.
How do I get rid of the Death Star? Is there a card for that? Which I realized, I was like, oh, you know what, it would have been interesting if I would have gone after that just to blow it up, just to
the one that was under construction?
Yeah, because it's only 4, and you had nothing but 2 TIE fighters there, and I was like,
yeah, no, I didn't have anything.
But I didn't have any units anywhere near because
right.
I couldn't deploy anywhere because you kept taking all my systems.
Right. I think it's a pretty solid game.
I think a lot of my early failures were dice related and not like
I got really lucky. I was gonna say I got really lucky on the dice rolls early.
Yeah, but I had some good ones. I had some combats that worked in my favor. I stopped you from drawing 8 cards from the probe deck a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. So it's gotta be. It definitely seems stacked in favor of the Empire.
It feels so hard as the rebels.
Yeah.
Because everything, it feels so even in terms of the actual gameplay, the tactics, the deploying people, all of that is so even, and you start with such an advantage.
Yeah.
And my win condition
is just to last.
It's just to last, and it can be very hard because those objective cards, I went through
yeah, they're about area control.
Yeah.
And how do you get any area control when you have 1 planet at the beginning of the game compared to my 5?
The ones, all the ones were most, the first ones were mostly area control, which I guess is probably a lot easier to do in the beginning when you don't have as much stuff. Before I
spread out,
Yeah, and then the later ones feel like they're a lot less area control, but it was just oh my gosh, I just couldn't get anything going for me until real late.
Yeah. Definitely seems like it's a much harder game for the Rebel player than for the Imperial player.
Yeah.
I would play it again. I would even play it the basic version again.
Yeah.
Switching roles. And then I would be interested to work in the action cards and there's also we did the basic the recommended for your first game setup. But there's an an advanced rule where you can choose all of your starting planets and stuff. Coruscant's always going to be Imperial, but other than that, I think the Imperial player draws 5 probe cards, that's what it is. You reveal cards from the probe deck until you've got 5 that have, or 3 that have the rebel symbol. Let me just toss this up here. 3 that have the rebel symbol on them, and 5 that have the Imperial symbol on them. There's 1.
Yeah, and I had a lot of really good cards for
so
attacking.
It's not a choice thing, it's a random thing.
Yeah, okay.
It is a table hog.
That it is. It takes
Big time table hog for a 2-player game, but it's a war game, so it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense.
I wish we had the room to sit on opposite sides of the board, because it would definitely have been easier to have the Rebel player on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you could sit in the middle of the board and reach everything. This is a fun game. I would definitely play it again. I have no idea when it'll hit the table ever again.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's great for 2 players, especially if
absolutely.
if you're 2 people who like the crunchier wargamey stuff.
Yeah.
I think it could be a lot of fun to bust out every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. This is 2 boards.
Oh, geez.
Which is a smart play.
Yeah.
For how much space it takes up. Components are pretty solid. I mean, it would have been nice to have minis instead of standees for the leaders, but I get it because there's a lot of useful information on them.
They need the standees. I like
my biggest complaint with components is damage tokens and how combat is executed with tracking all that damage. Those tokens are way too big, and when you get your armies big army against big army, it becomes like Risk trying to fit all of your little dudes onto one territory.
That's why maybe, in the tutorial we watched, he took them off the board to show us.
Yeah.
That's probably just, I would suggest if you play this at home.
If you've got extra, like a sidecar space.
Yeah, if you've got just room that you can move all the units to handle combat before.
Because then it's going to be much easier to track what dice you get and what damage is being dealt out. I think the way that we did it, where we were like, we know I've moved everything from one planet to the other and just leave them on separate planets, helped. But man, is that fiddly.
Yeah. yeah. It's...
And wrapping your head around how combat works is a little fiddly too. Once you get it, you've got it.
Yeah,
it wasn't fine.
It wasn't super hard. The idea that there are different damage types that affect different units is really interesting. Because
a little funky, but it's...
Yeah, I don't love that mechanic, but I'm not saying that that's a bad idea.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
I don't love it, but I understand why they do it, because an X-Wing shouldn't be able to just, like...
blow up a Star Destroyer.
But if you do get, a bunch of direct hits, like...
Yeah, you're hitting sensitive spots.
Yeah,
sure.
That makes sense to me.
No, it makes sense thematically, for sure. The minis are cool. All these spaceships.
Yeah, all of them are really nice. They're way more detailed than the TIE fighters and stuff, and the X-Wings.
Yeah.
For as tiny as they are.
That's where the game really shines.
Yeah.
In terms of table presence.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're not like too but they're pretty solid little miniatures for this. Love it. Oh.
I suppose you could paint them if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm sure people do.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard. These are real tiny.
Yeah. Super fun game. I like it a lot. I would definitely play it again.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. If you want to spend more time with us, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, head on over to twitch.tv/bnbtabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And we like to keep things interactive. You guys can influence what happens throughout the course of a game with our Buff and Nerf house rules. You can also make predictions on how things are going to pan out, play virtual bingo for a chance to win a free board game of your own, and heckle us and stuff from the chat. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you Sunday night.